Anyway, okay, they're going to start serving us lunch here shortly, but I'm going to get in and share with you what's happening with Alliance Portfolio. I hope that the information and the speakers so far have been excellent, and as generally people do, they save the best for last, so I'm going to give it to you now. Well, I appreciate all of you for coming. And we put a lot of work into putting this thing together. We've been at this for a long time. I've been at it for some 35 years, so I'm old and seasoned, and I've got scar tissue and gray hairs. And I've been through a lot of cycles. And when I first started this in the 90s, we had oversupply. Builders built a lot of properties, and developers were just trying to sell properties and get out of their construction loans and keep moving on. And we had a dot-com era. We had easy money, no income, no asset, no job, and you can get a loan. And because they did that, prices went way up. And then, then all of a sudden, the teaser rates and so on and so forth went away, and they couldn't afford their house, and it started to melt down. And then values have climbed now because interest rates were at 2% and 3%. So that increased values, and there was high demand. Now we've got no supply and high demand. I just helped my daughter buy a home. I bought a property on Halloween just to take it off the market because it wouldn't be there by the time she sold her own house. And then she put her own house on the market on Monday, and it was in escrow on Friday for more than she asked for. So it's a different world today. So I started doing this in 90. I had the company with a partner from 96 to 2007 when I bought him out. So this is what you're going to get from me. I've done about 1,000 of these things for $630 million. Average loan amount $653,000. But our loan to value has been 52% for the last 17 years is our average, and our average return has been 9.4%. And the key is we lend in Orange County and coastal Los Angeles and San Diego counties, and a little bit in the Bay Area. So where you lend matters. When I got my ass handed to me in 2007 and 8, there was a common denominator, and they were all inland. So I stay hugged close to the ocean. There's a lot of things that are predictable in our business. We have changing market. We don't know what's going to come, but some of the things we do know. And the predictability is that the location, the intrinsic value of the ocean is a powerful thing. Also, there's always cheap money attracts really good loans, but on the other side of it, high returns attract you guys. So how do I find the best loans to fit your needs and wants on a return? The other thing is employment and affordability. We're in the business of collecting interest and fees. We're not in the business of collecting real estate. So we want to make sure that borrowers have the ability to pay because, as Chris was just sharing with you, it used to be, can they pay, will they pay, and if they don't pay, am I going to be okay? Right now it's, can they pay, will they pay, and if they don't pay, are they going to sue me for making them a loan that I knew they couldn't pay? And that what's happened? So anyway, these are some predictable things. Unpredictable things are predatory borrowers. And if anybody has had one of those, these people are terrorists. And they'll drag you through the court, and the court is very slow and very lenient towards borrowers. But you don't know them when you first make loan to them. I have a loan that we've had since 2022, and the guy's still in the house, and we're doing everything that we can. I've spent thousands and thousands of dollars on fees, legal fees, trying to get him out. And then the court system is very slow, it's very expensive, and it's very sympathetic towards borrowers. So unpredictable, you never know that. Health issues come and go. I've survived cancer. Natural disasters, we now have, fire just happened. And then licensing, you get involved in properties where licenses are required, like senior care facilities or franchised restaurants or pot shops. We just had a pot shop. We made a loan to a guy that was in the pot business. He did great. He got bought out by somebody that didn't do so great, and we ended up foreclosing. And then we got a great building, but you can only sell it to somebody that's got a pot license. And thankfully, they pay a lot of money, those guys, because there's very few properties that can have that. But anyway, these are types of things that are unpredictable. So our strategy has always been to diversify. Diversification is your free lunch. You get it for free. There's no risk in diversifying. You get to spread out your assets. Borrowers with skin in the game, we want a lot of skin in the game, and you can see that as reflected in our loan to value. And some of these lawsuits that you're talking about, if this borrower's got sufficient skin in the game, they will find another loan, and you'll be able to get out of it. The exit strategy, we always want to know, what is the exit strategy before we go into the loan, not once we're in it. Allocation, different types of property allocations, or borrower, how much concentration you might have with any one given borrower. Location, cash flow, we're looking for income. Loan to value is key. Reserves are key. Downtime is something that we manage, that we see all the time, and we manage it intentionally and intensely. And when I get to the fund, I'll show you what that looks like. But this is when you invest your money and you're getting 8, 9, 10%, and then you get paid off. And that's the downtime. And that affects your overall annual yield. And most of us, or for a long time, people don't count that in. They just look at that note rate and say, oh, great, I'm getting 9%, that's what I want. And then next thing you know, you're the first guy to get paid off. So we sell individual whole loans, fractional loans, as you know, and we also run our mortgage fund. Whole loans are great. We have people here that buy them. You get your name on the title, but all of the income is ordinary income, so it's high, it's taxed. You have to pony up the money for any insurance that we need to bring current. If there's a foreclosure cost, you're paying all of the foreclosure costs. Legal, if we get into lawsuits with these borrowers, you're ponying up the lawsuit money. And then also you have downtime. So whole loans are great things, but they're great for the right investor. Fractional loans, we do a lot of these. Most of you have participated in these with us. You have your pro rata share of interest. You have your beneficial interest is on the deed of trust. It's also ordinary income, and you can only put 10 people into any multi-lender trust deed. And we do a lot of multi-lender trustees, but we do bigger loans than most of the people in our world. So like we just closed $8 million. If you can only put 10 people into an $8 million loan, you got to put up $800,000 or more. So if you're looking to park $100,000 or 150 or up to $500,000, you're probably better off in a fund. Our Alliance Mortgage Fund has been doing great. In the fund, if you invest in there, you don't have out-of-pocket expenses, because out-of-pocket expenses are paid through cash flow or from the reserve that the fund has. It's tax efficient in that it's a registered REIT. So most investors don't pay tax on the first 20% of the income that they get on their K-1. We also have audited financials. You can choose either to compound your interest through growth, or you can take monthly cash flow. It's a limited liability company. And one of the key things is you get premium choice. You get the best loans because we're the guys originating them. And if our fund has money, the fund's going to get to be the first guy to participate in the new loans. The other thing is the minimal downtime. So I press on this downtime because I learned I got scar tissue from having too much downtime in my fund, and our distribution suffered. So we have worked our downtime to the point to where our downtime is only 2.6% of our capital is undeployed at any time. So, for instance, on $20 million, we always have $19,500,000 working. So our return directly reflects what is in the fund. So there's a comparison of the three benefits or differences of the loans, and each of you have this comparison in your swag bag there. I hope you like your swag bag. There's some fun stuff in there. Last year, we had a pretty good year. We originated $72 million in new loan originations. Our average loan to value on those $72 million in loans is 49%. They're very well secured. Our average loan amount was $1.2 million. Our average returns on first trust deeds was 9, and our returns on seconds has been over 10. And we did 40% first trust deeds and 60% second trust deeds. And we like doing first trust deeds, prefer that, but these people have these 2 and 3% loans and they don't want to pay them off. So the seconds, our loan to value is still 49%, and we get a little higher return on those second trust deeds. The fund, Alliance Mortgage Fund, it's doing very well. With 95% of our funds of our loans that are in the fund are performing. We've got about 83 loans or something like that in the fund. Our average loan to value in our fund is 49%. Our 60% of them are on income producing residential. See, we loan in Orange County, coastal Los Angeles, and San Diego County. We do, we have the best documents, and I'm probably more conservative than most of my what do you call them? I don't even know if you call them a competitor or not, but I don't. Anyway, yeah, competitors, but we don't have foreclosures. We don't have brain damage, and I like that. Our loan servicing portfolio, we're up to $126 million in our loan servicing portfolio. 94% of them are current. We have a couple of them in default. Some of the people that are in default have moved into a forbearance, so they're beginning to make their payments. And we have 2 REOs that we are hoping to offload, between now and April or something like that. But and we also know where our rewrites come from and our repeats. So as the critical mass grows, what's happening is we're able to rewrite our existing loans, and then we get repeat borrowers that come back and borrow money from us. So as this mass grows, the repeats grow. Out of $126 million, we're going to get 55 million of them to do it again. That's a lot. That's a good source of new loans. And this year, what we're trying to achieve, we'll do $100 million. We'll do 25 million a quarter. We've done, last month we did $9 million, and we've done 2 million so far this month, and it's the 7th. So I think we're going to get there. We'll increase our loan servicing. We say like it was 126, and we're trying to get to 150. And the reason is because, and you're going to do that by doing 100 million. You don't go from 126 to 226 because a lot of those loans pay off. And we'll increase from about 18 million to 25 million in our fund. The fund currently has 70 loans. But we're also doing, we're reducing our runoffs in our loan servicing portfolio because we're developing a system whereby every time we get a demand for payoff, we go right after that demand. and do whatever we can to retain them, because we can do it cheaper than a new broker can. And we've already got a captured audience, as well as balloon payments that come due. And so we talked a little bit about AI with Chris Thornburg. And one of the things that we're doing with the AI is we're pumping in the location of a property, the loan to value, the debt to income ratio, the credit score, the term of the loan, the property type, how much equity loan to value is, what their use of proceeds are, and we'll create what's called an AP rating, and it'll tell us what the risk rating would be, what the profitability of any given loan will be, how long we can expect to get income from this specific loan, and whether or not they're a litigation risk. So AI has its place in our business, and we're going to use it to the best of our advantage. We also like bigger loans. We're doing bigger loans currently, and one of the things, a couple of things that happen when you have bigger loans is you get a more sophisticated borrower. You don't get somebody on their phone telling you that it's a business purpose when it's not. They've got a lot more skin in the game and equity. So if you're making a loan on $1 million house and they're taking out 60% of it, for supposed business purpose, then they've got $400,000. But if it's a $10 million house and it's 60% loan to value, they got 4 million reasons to pay you. And bigger loans they hang around longer too, and you get whatever you want as far as rates and fees, because few private money lenders can do them. We are also actively marketing and going to registered investment advisors to bring money to our fund. Christina and I will be at Los Angeles. Beverly Hills is the LA Registered Investment Advisors Summit, and we're sponsoring the dinner there, and we will be meeting and recruiting and exhibiting at the Registered Investment Advisor and taking advantage of that group. We also hope to see some family offices there. And we are looking at portfolio acquisition. So we had an opportunity to buy a portfolio from a smaller private money lender last year that was, it was about $25 million, something like that. And I measure everything. These are all the measurements of everything in our business. So, for instance, we know how many leads it takes to get a loan commitment, how many loan commitments it takes to get a signed one, how many signed ones does it take to get to closed. We know what our dollar amounts are. We track occupancy. We track whether they're by the coast or inland. We track the sources, where they come from. We track everything in our business so that we can make some predictable understanding of what the value is. And when we offered to buy this guy's portfolio, he had no idea what he was selling because he didn't measure. And a loan servicing portfolio has value. It has recurring revenue value. So we're going to look at picking some of these things up along the way. You can get all of this on, you have it in your deal, but really I just want to appreciate you and thank you for coming. We're going to start serving lunch here. And I want to point out to my staff, if you have or haven't met them, thank you. They've all worked hard on putting this thing together. Amber and Larissa and Rudy is here, and Christine is here. And by the way, Christine's over here. Stand up. This was her initiative to put this thing together. And you hit it out of the park. You did a great job. Thank you so much for all of your work. She has been stuck with a phone in her ear for 4 months. But anyway, I just want to say thank you all. If you have questions, I'm available. And we just look forward to a great year coming forward. I hope the speakers were meaningful and that you got something worthwhile today. Thanks so much. And we're going to have food. Thanks. Yeah.
5 years, an average loan. So the minimum is 2 years. The minimum.
Yeah, thanks. 2 to 5 years, the length of the loan. So 2 years is minimum?
No, some of them go short. Some of them are, I mean, you can write them as low as 6 months. But generally, generally borrowers don't borrow our money for long, they borrow it for short. And investors generally like to churn their money every couple of years. You get to reevaluate the value. You get to know whether or not you've got a history with someone who pays or doesn't pay. And when we've got some loans that are coming due, we don't want to do them again.
Well, the question I was asking more like, is there any minimum requirements how long they need to hold the loan? Or in other words, is there any penalty if they
Yes.
just...
Yes. We generally put in a 6-month prepayment penalty on all of the loans to ensure that we're going to get paid. Nobody wants to raise a bunch of money and get paid off in 20 minutes.
But after 6 months, any time they can do it.
Most often, yeah. I mean, sometimes we
Okay.
get a longer prepayment penalty, a year or something like that. Go ahead. All of them. All of them have balloon payments. Uh-huh. Go ahead. The trustees and mortgage funds are not liquid. It's real estate financing. You can always sell a loan if there's a market for it. The fund has liquidity. You have to stay in for 1 year. After 1 year, you can request redemption, and then we just do them first come first serve. And the fund has more liquidity because it's got 80 loans in it. So, and they're all only 2-year, 3-year loans, so they're always coming due. Probably 90 days, maybe to 6 months, something like that. Go ahead.
How often or will you lend to somebody who previously gone into forbearance or foreclosure? Will you let them bite at the apple again, or will you say, I'm sorry, we had a bad experience with you and we won't lend to you again?
I don't have a fixed rule about that, but I generally, I'm not going to get back in there with them. Depends on how much equity they got and what was the cause of them becoming delinquent in the first place. I mean, people have problems for sure. And crises happen and so on and so forth. But if I can help them and stay very well protected, I would do that. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. What you see on the trust deeds or the overviews that come out is the net rate. Yes. Yes.
Do it on a yearly base?
AMF distributions are monthly, and growth is monthly.
I'm talking about the capital, the whole investment. Let's say I put in $500,000 on your company. Could I have my $500,000 back in a year?
After a year. After 1 year.
After 1 year?
After 1 year. That's the same question that she just asked.
I
Yeah.
see.
After 1 year, you can request redemption.
And how long it takes you to foreclose?
Well, it just depends. Generally, it was 3 months and 21 days. But now, if they have a listing, we got to wait another 45 days. And then if they have a purchase contract, it's another 45 days after that. And then they've always got the bankruptcy card that they can play. So it can be a while, somewhere from 6 months to 6 years, something like that.
Thank you.
The secret is stay close to the ocean and keep your loan to value low. that gives them an exit strategy. Go ahead.
Have the fires affected your portfolio?
No, we have not had an insurance claim yet as a result of the fires. We have had several investors lose their homes. So, you know, I guess there's more investors living in Pacific Palisades than there are borrowers, for some reason. Anybody else? Well, fantastic. Thank you all again for coming. Enjoy lunch. They're coming out right now, and I appreciate your time. Thanks.